The Elgato Wave 3 is like it is an extremely good microphone, but the main issue is that when I switch to Bazzite, I lose like 70% of its sauce, which is its sound effects and how good I can make it. Easy Effects is pretty good, but a lot of the built-in plugins aren't as great as the ones that I can just choose from, like Reaper plugins and Elgato's plugins and all that. So I had the issue of like sounding pretty and weird when I'm recording on Bazzite compared to how I record on Windows. And as I sound right now, this is how I usually have my microphone. So I was like, maybe I should get a new microphone. One that works for both Windows and Linux and still keeps most of its functionality between both platforms. And that's why I got this. This is the Beacn mic. It's not new, definitely not new, but it is a microphone that has been on my radar for quite some time. One of the biggest things that really caught on to me was it says built-in FX right there. And it's USB plug and play. So basically, the effects are on the microphone, not the PC. Theoretically, if I switch platforms, it'll still have the same effects. And that's what really pulled me in. Yeah, we're gonna try out the Beacn mic. I got the black version because there was no white version at Micro Center. That doesn't really matter. They both perform the same way. I actually haven't seen anybody use the black version of the Beacn mic, so you know, this is gonna be new for me. But yeah, we're gonna test it out. I would like to preface this video by saying that I got this from Micro Center, but I was not sponsored by Micro Center or Beacn in any way. But if they want to throw one my way, you know, you know, I don't think I'd say no to. But yeah, all these thoughts are mine and mine alone. They're not swayed by anything else. And even if I did get sponsored, like I said before, if I did get sponsored, I would still give my honest opinions and everything else. So yeah. All right, so let's unbox this. Let's see here. So that's in front of my face. Okay, so it's a little sleeve. Let's open it that way. Ooh, that was a weird flex of my finger muscles. I'm trying not to like destroy this thing. So let's try our hardest not to. Oh, I see what the issue is. I mean, yeah, it makes sense. Of course they would tape that. There we go. Huh. Cool. Okay, so let's another piece of tape. Give me a moment. Again. All right. You cannot see that in the slightest. Okay. All right, so it looks like we got, what's this? Oh, it's an adapter, USB-A adapter, C to A adapter. Cool, that's neat. So I'm guessing that means that this is C to C. Yes, this is indeed C to C. Okay, now where's the mic? There's the mic. There it is. Okay. Ooh, quite hefty actually. Yeah, there's the, I degloved it. There's the Beacn mic. It kind of looks like a Shure. That's pretty cool. It's cold, it's metal. It's got a metal frame. Very nice, very nice. It's got a foam, well, wind protector. Well, I mean, that's what it looks like. That's the unboxing. I mean, nothing crazy. So I guess, you know, we'll set it up. We'll set it up. Now I gotta unset my Elgato. Oh Lord, here we go. So the nitty gritty of the Beacn mic, the tech specs, it has a 32-bit and a 96 kilohertz audio resolution. It has a frequency response of 50 hertz to 20 kilohertz. So that's pretty good. That's quite the range. It is 1 pound, so it's quite hefty, and it's just enough to keep my blue boom arm from lifting itself up from the springs like how it did on the Elgato. That's the one thing that really did annoy me. So I you know, having a heavier mic is very nice. So now it stays in place and doesn't try to escape from me. It's got RGB. I didn't show it, but I will in a B-roll, but it's very nice. I can customize it. So right now I have it on green and blue because those are, you know, the colors that I use a lot. It's cardioid, so it only comes out from the front. It does not capture audio clearly from the sides or from behind, much like the Elgato Wave 3. So, you know, and you speak from it from the top You do not speak it to it from the side of the phone. It has to be the top, you know, the flat end. So that is the correct way of speaking into it. All right, so I have my Elgato Wave 3 right here. It's off the boom arm, and I'm going to speak into it at the same time as the Beacn mic, so you guys can get an idea of how both of them sound next to each other, side by side, same distance away from each other and all that. So here we go. Okay, so now both mics are literally right next to me, same distance, which is about a hand's length away. That is the distance that you really should be using the mic. And one thing that I do notice is in my zero latency monitoring, I can absolutely hear all the changes that I've made to it on the Beacn mic. And that is a very different thing from how it sounded on the Elgato Wave 3. See, with the Elgato Wave 3, I can only hear how it sounds stock. So no effects, no anything. I have to pretty much do guesswork for how it sounds in recording. And they have like a little test thing now in Elgato Wave Link, but before that just wasn't a thing. And so I just had to guesswork, and I'm surprised on how well I got it tuned from guessing and tuning for so long. But yeah, I can't hear it. For Beacn, I can hear everything that I've tweaked and done and did to it. So I know that it sounds optimal. It sounds pretty good. Now, the difference between these two microphones is that the Elgato Wave 3 is a condenser mic, and the Beacn mic is a dynamic mic. Now, there are differences to either of them, and not one is better than the other. With the condenser mic, how it works is that it's made to basically capture every bit of your voice, the whole entire range of your voice. So it sounds more natural, and it sounds like how it would sound like in real life. The downside to this is that because it's capturing everything about your voice, it's also capturing everything around you. So you have to have really good positioning, and you have to make sure that your voice is in the forefront of a condenser mic. And for dynamic, how it works basically is that it rejects a lot of the noise around the microphone. It's really focused on speaking, on you speaking. So your voice does come out much more prominent. It's much more in the foreground. Sound around the room is basically either not there or is very faint to the point where it's not really noticeable. The backdraw to that is that the way that these microphones are tuned, your voice sounds more broadcasty, and it doesn't sound as natural. It kind of sounds like that you are on a radio show. So, and some people may not mind that. Some people may want that type of effect. And if that's what you want, like out of the box, I mean, go for a dynamic microphone. For someone like me, I don't like the way that my voice sounds when it gets too boomy. It gets too warm. And I kind of want to get rid of that bass in my voice. So I have to use EQ to, you know, lessen that boom and warmth. So now that we have the Beacn mic set up and tweaked, let's try it out on Bazzite. So I'm going to switch on over and we'll see how it goes and see if it actually kept all of my settings. Okay, so now we are on Bazzite, and what I immediately noticed is that the audio started to automatically work. So right now there's my Beacn mic analog stereo. It says analog stereo duplex, and I see that my mic is working immediately. I did not have to fiddle with it at all like I did with the Elgato Wave, and it just works. And I hear the changes that I made on Windows through my zero latency monitoring. So it's there. And I changed the ring light too to have it be like green and blue gradient, and it's saved to the device. When I turned it on for Bazzite, it's right there. It's literally right there. So it knows it's on that profile. That's so cool. That's so nice. Like, yeah, you can't customize it anymore, but at this point, once you set it, like, you know, that rule, set it and forget it, like you set it on Windows, you go back to Bazzite, you don't got to worry about anything else after that. But yeah, you don't have to worry about how you sound anymore. And the only changes that I made with Easy Effects was, you know, change the loudness. So kind of like Loud Max, I set it to where it limits at 9.5 decibels, but it brings up my volume quite a bit because this mic can get quite quiet, but nothing else has changed aside from that. And it sounds good. It's using all the effects that I had saved on it from the Beacn app. I'm so happy. That makes me extremely happy. I don't have to worry about it anymore. Oh my goodness. So I just got done recording a video for the channel and I went back and played it through. Oh my goodness. It sounds so good now. So good. So I think now my plan is to just use the Beacn mic from now on. Like, I will still have the Elgato Wave 3 on standby for sure. And probably, you know, actually, what do I do with this thing? I guess it'll just be in storage for now, and I will continue to use the Beacn mic from now on. It served me well. I think I got this like 3 years ago. I think I got the Wave 3 like 3 years ago, and I've had really good mileage with it. I don't regret buying this at all. It's a really nice mic. It was such a huge upgrade from the Blue Yeti. Oh my god, the Blue Yeti, actually, dude. Should I bring that out and like play and use it? Should I do that? Oh no, I don't have the connector because it's like a USB type B connector, and I don't think I have that anymore. So yeah, I don't think I can use it. Yeah, I think that thing's just gone. That thing's just done for. That one served me well too. It's just that I was peaking way too much. Okay, my hand hurts. I'm taking this Elgato Wave 3 off. It hurts my hand. Yeah, I think this is an amazing content creation microphone. It's great. I'm pretty sure I'm also going to be using it for VA. Maybe I do a few more tweaks and then it'll be good to go for everything that I need it to do. I don't have to worry about the audio section of Bazzite anymore. At least I think it had every effect that I had on Windows. It was an amazing experience. But this is a very nice microphone. Very nice microphone. Expensive, but a very nice microphone. I would say Elgato Wave 3 is the best USB condenser microphone out there. In terms of dynamic USB microphones, I barely see any of them, but this one's amazing. I can't say it's the best because this, like I already said earlier, that this is the first dynamic microphone that I've owned and used. This is a really strong microphone, really strong in quality. One thing that I do notice, and it kind of does bother me, is that there are no controls on the mic itself. So, and I was like, how do I mute this thing? And there's just no mute button. And the software itself doesn't have a mute button. So I'm sitting there like, okay, so what do I do if I want to hardware mute my mic? You could use Stream Deck to mute it, but I don't have a Stream Deck. So I'm like, okay, so am I just out of luck? And I think I am. The one thing that I did notice is that I can mute my mic on Linux very easily. Like apparently I have to do it through Windows. I have no idea how to do that. I've never done that before in my life. So when it comes to Linux, there is a button on my taskbar where I can click mute mic and it will just straight up mute it. That is a very nice alternative, but I would like for there to be a very easy alternative on Windows for sure, because this is it's kind of irking me. I wish there was a way to mute it hardware based, because yeah, having to go and search for a mute button in Windows, that's not okay. That's just not. It really isn't. I feel like they should have had a refresh when they made the Beacn Studio, because just it being like a cylinder with nothing else to it, and I can't mute it without having like a Stream Deck or anything like that. I don't like that. That's not okay. But yeah, I think that's all I have for now. I'll probably, do a few more recordings with this thing. The last indie game that I played, I had some problems, of course, on Windows, so, but I didn't want to switch because I didn't want the audio to suddenly just sound horrible and sound weird and muddy. But now that I have that fixed, I think I will continue to make more videos. But anyways, yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.